Then there we've got our strawberry bed. As you can see, it's a double tier one with piping over it for netting, which obviously I will do come springtime, but they seem to have been quite hard hit by the frost. So what I think I'm going to do is dig it all out, get all the weeds out, and just put in some new beds, new plants there. There's plenty of runners down here. That bed's all set up for square foot gardening. I'll get around to planting something in that soon. Obviously there's a separate series of videos on that. This is the rhubarb, and you can see it's just starting to come through. I may need to cover that because rhubarb crowns obviously don't particularly appreciate frost, so that may well I may well cover those in a bit. There's onions and garlic in that bed over there. They're doing quite well. They're doing very nicely. Sort of summertime they'll obviously be ready to pull. And then down here we've got well, unfortunately what it did have in it was brassicas, but they've all been eaten, so this bed's going to get dug over, some manure thrown on it, and then that'll be good to go later on. Final beds, obviously two more like that, and then here we've got there's going to be a flower bed. I know it's quite a big bed, but I wanted something for the wildlife and insects, and I've got tulips coming up there. There's two climbing roses, both are blue roses, and then I've got lots of flower seeds which I'm going to just give us a quick dig and a rake, and then I'm going to get all the flower seeds in probably middle of March, because obviously it's still quite cold here at the moment. And then finally you've got the three apple trees along the side there. They're going to form part of a fence. I'm going to grow them along in step over form. Obviously I'm waiting to the spring when they sort of perk up a bit and start growing, and then I'll get the posts in place, and once the posts are in place then I can train them to grow along, and there'll be like a living hedge on my plot. So ideally long term I'd like that sort of living hedge all the way around the plot, so a variety of trees all the way around with just sort of one or two entrances. This is the scrubland at the end of the plot. You can see I put tarp over there, cover that, ready for digging. I'll try and get 2 or 3 more tarp fall-ins and just cover the rest as well, and then start digging it. And it looks like it's got trenches in it already, to be honest, from something, so just needs a good dig over and then raised beds being put on it. I am planning on getting hold of some straw bales, and I want to put a couple of straw bales on here and show you all about straw bale gardening. So that's the plot. You can see it's coming along nicely. The bits that are done are quite tidy. There is a lot of work to do though, so I'm going to get going on all that. But firstly it's time to go and just water my seedlings, make sure they're okay, and then it's get on, do some more tidying up, putter around a bit, and then go home and have some lunch. Welcome to another allotment diary. I've been asked for a walkthrough of the site, so I just wanted to show you the plot. It stretches from the road through to that line there, so it's not particularly wide, but it is quite long. It's not a huge plot, but it's certainly big enough for me to manage by myself. There is about sort of 2.5–3 feet worth of path meant to be there, which I am putting in place. There's meant to be paths between all the allotments just to allow ease of access, so that's sort of a work in progress. I've done it halfway down, haven't come down this end. This is very much sort of the junk end of the allotment, and to be fair, it's one I'm absolutely dreading getting my teeth into. That's the remains of the greenhouse. I've used it sort of to cover that, and now it's sort of warming up a little. I've spread it out a little bit better. There's a bath there left by previous occupants. I don't know what's going to become of that. It's probably going to become a pond, to be fair. I keep talking about that. I certainly don't want to put it in the back of my car and take it to the tip, so it's likely to be sunk in and become a pond. Now, this end, my long-term plan is for this end to sort of, this part here, to become a fruit area. I want to move the rhubarb down here, which is currently in a raised bed, and just sort of clear this space. But I'm at a bit of a loss with this space here, because just sort of here it's raised up by about a foot. So until I clear the weeds, I actually have no idea what is underneath there. I don't know why it is raised up. I don't know anything about it really. There is a big log down this side, and there's some sort of logs over there by the blackberry there. So I don't actually know what's underneath here at all. So it's going to be a bit of a voyage of discovery. But that blackberry needs taming. It's gone crazy. It's going over onto the neighbour's plot. I've cut some of it back, and it's going onto the path. So that needs clearing. So this bit here is probably going to be the last part I tackle, to be fair, because I think it's going to be a real pain to do. So I'm going to leave that to last. This is where the plastic greenhouse was. When I arrived, there was a plastic greenhouse here, but one of the struts, or two of the struts, had broken, and it was sort of held up by a bit of a wish and a prayer, to be honest. And last year we had some high winds, which unfortunately has taken this down. So this area here needs cleaning out, and I'm hoping, I've got permission to put up a greenhouse there, so I'm hoping I can find a cheap or even free greenhouse that I can put in there. And under there you'll see all those pots. I found all of those in the greenhouse. So there was loads and loads of pots thrown in the plastic greenhouse, and all those trees or plants, which again I have no idea what any of them are yet. So I'm leaving those to spring, and hopefully, you know, they'll come back to life and I can work out if there's something I want. I built my compost heaps here, and again they're built here for a reason. Firstly, they're next to the path. The fronts are just tied on, so they're dead easy to remove. I can take the fronts off to give me very easy access to the contents. Now the reason I put them there is it's very close to the road, so again easy in and out with a wheelbarrow. I'm not having to traipse across mud or anything else, so it's dead easy for me to get in and out of. And secondly, that area there, when I sort of put the greenhouse, the compost bins in place, it was a terrible state. That area was so soggy and wet, so I don't think I could have grown much there anyway, to be really fair with you. So I put the compost there. The pallets I got off Gumtree. I went on to Gumtree. I was going on there every day, and I saw a local company wanted to dispose of some pallets. Popped along in my car, filled the car up, and I've still got 3 or 4 left over, which I'll come up with some other use for them at some point. Nice little potting table there. It's quite pleasant. It's a bit low, but you know, it's useful for messing around, and ideally that would be about another sort of 2 foot higher, so it was about waist height and easy to reach. When the weather improves a little bit and I'm feeling up for it, the shed needs another good coat of paint. I've got quite a bit of paint now, I must admit. I found some in one of the big supermarkets. It was a decent one, reduced down from what, £12 something down to £2.50 for a 5 litre tin. So I picked up a couple of tins of that, which will keep me in shed paint for a few years. But you can see, I don't know whether you can see on the video there, there's sort of some green on it, so it needs a bit of a clean and a paint. That glass needs moving. That glass may well go over a raised bed and become a cold frame of sorts. So that's something to go and have a look at and mess around with. So a couple of the raised beds over there, I could lie those over and sort of form a very cheap and easy cold frame to start my seeds off. This raised bed here, it's a big raised bed, but again, it's pretty useless. Firstly, it backs straight onto the shed, which means that the shed could well be rotting behind the planks. I've got no way of telling, so it needs moving. But the downside of it is the sun sort of comes on the other side of the shed, so it goes along over there. So this area here doesn't actually get much sun. So I don't really know what to do with this area. I keep saying that I'm gonna, that raised bed's going to move, so I'm planning on taking it down to the end over there. But what I want to do with that is I'm thinking I might put the bath in as a pond, you know, a few nice smelly flowers, and a little sort of seating area, maybe put a table and chairs there, just so I've got somewhere to chill out and admire my hard work. So that's probably what's going to happen with here, but again, that's a lower priority project because it's more important I get things ready for digging. I've been quite lax over the last couple of months, and it's much more important that the other ends are prepared before this is moved. Now we're on to our raised beds. Firstly there's two plum trees. Hopefully they're alive, we'll find out, in those pots. And that pot's got lots of mint in. Obviously you don't put mint in the ground, it grows via runners. You put it in the ground, you'll never get rid of it. Someone has put lemon balm in the ground on this plot, and every now and then I'm pulling up great chunks of it as I find it. But all the covered beds, you'll see there's 2, 4, 6, 7 beds that are covered. These beds have all had manure dug into them, and then they've been covered with black plastic. So when it comes to planting in these need a good digging over. It won't take too long to do. The manure will hopefully be broken down quite nicely, and obviously they'll be warm and ready to get going. So these should be quite a nice little head start. The bed over there is a herb bed. It's got a few sorry looking herbs in there. I think that was a rosemary in the corner, thyme, parsley, some other parsley. I think that's oregano and chives. I want another chive plant. I want a couple of marjoram plants in there as well.